All right, this is my audience. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're all here. Good morning. My name is Ethan Perry. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. This is a phrase that we've all heard as we were children. And unfortunately, this phrase is just not true. Words are one of the most powerful tools we have as human beings. Patrick Rothfuss, in his book, The Name of the Wind, says, words have power. Words can light fire in the minds of men, but words can also wring tears from the hardest hearts. Today, cyberbullying is a relatively recent development, but the effects can be devastating. Today we're going to consider how cyberbullying is a serious and ever-growing issue, but first we need to understand what it is. In Kimberly Miller's article, Cyberbullying and Its Consequences, it defines cyberbullying as verbal bullying, taunting, or harassing of a person through electronic delivery, whether known or anonymous. Today, we have technology in the palm of our hand. If you want something, you need something, information to get in contact with somebody, it's right there in your hand with your cell phone. Maybe you don't have your cell phone, use a computer, but technology is so prevalent in today's society. Bullying physically is face-to-face, but cyberbullying is a lot easier because you can hide behind a screen, whether it's your computer or your phone. It comes from multiple sources through text messaging, email, Facebook comments. If you're old enough to remember MySpace, right? These things come from multiple sources, and unfortunately, you cannot just click the red X in the top corner. You may say you can X out of it, but unfortunately, it follows you and it harasses you. Technological advancements are amazing, and we've seen a lot of those over the past years, but they can be harmful. Now, we understand what cyberbullying is, but let's look at some of the numbers, and they can be staggering. According to Nicole Weber in her book, Cyberbullying, the Causes, the Consequences, and the Strategies, 25% of teenagers admit to being cyberbullied at some point in their life. And of that 25%, 11% comes from close friends with confidential information or pictures. That's mind-blowing. Only 1 out of every 10 teenagers will admit to their parents that they've been cyberbullied because they're afraid that if they talk about it, something else will happen to them. Almost 70% of children today have a cell phone. When I was 16 years old, I didn't even have a cell phone. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18. But now, as early as 12 years old, they have cell phones. In her study, they surveyed over 1,000 boys and girls, and from the statistics, it shows that prevalently, the cyberbullying came from the female gender. It also showed that these victims are at a higher risk for depression, anxiety, and suicide, which we're going to learn about here in a second. Knowing what cyberbullying is and knowing the numbers behind it, they speak for themselves, but ultimately we need to know the effects of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying isn't just words, but it's knives that jab at the heart. I'd like to tell you a story today about a girl named Danielle Cox. Danielle Cox was 15 years old when in 2010 she unfortunately took her life because of cyberbullying. In May of 2010, Danielle Cox was feeling lost, was feeling alone, and so her friend on Facebook posted her number and said, hey, if y'all could just text her some encouraging words, some support, I would really appreciate it. He meant nothing but goodwill of it. And unfortunately, a young man named Jason Thomas decided to take this moment and opportunity to get her phone number. And he used a website called ClamText to text bomb her more than 100 messages. Anywhere from 100 to 150 messages, he texted her. You suck. You're worthless. You are nothing. No one cares about you. Just do it. Kill yourself. No one will care. Your family hates you. Your friends hate you. Go away. And it looks something like this. Message after message after message after message, telling her that she is nothing, that she was worthless, and that ultimately she should just end her life. Cyberbullying is 24/7. She could have turned her phone off, but how would she call out for help to her mom, to her dad? She could just get on Facebook, and the comments are still steadily coming. Like I said, cyberbullying is 24/7. Just because you leave the school physically, that's where the physical bullying stopped. I had the honor and privilege to sit next to Danielle in French class, and I saw girls pick on her for her looks or pick on her for her grades. And I stood up for her a couple times, other students stood up for her a couple times. But once you leave the school, that's where cyberbullying is the most prevalent because you can't escape it. Technology is all around us. The rise of cyberbullying comes at the expense of others. Cyberbullying is a terrible crime that we must avoid, but we also must look for the signs. Cyberbullying is an unfortunate issue that affects many people every day. Knowing what it is, the numbers behind it, and the devastating effects can help people understand the risks of cyberbullying and just what Danielle Cox went through. Knowing what you know now, I hope this shines a light on cyberbullying, this new form of abuse that children and adults actually face today, and how we can avoid it and hopefully help others with it. Thank you.